Stephanie Lopez will be honored momentarily. She is retiring. They will have a ceremony for that. We will bring that to you right here as we welcome you back inside our OneSoccer studio. Andy Petrillo, Laura Armstrong, Kalyn Kyle's going to join us as well in the next block. I want to talk right out of the gate. I want to talk Vanessa Gilles. I'm giving her the nickname, the bulldozer. I don't care who's in front of her. She's knocking them down to get a goal. There's just something special about the way she plays.
She was going through Quinn on that goal. It didn't matter if it was her opponent or her teammate. She was going to go through the back of her to put that ball in the back of the net. And this is exactly what Canada needs. Do we want one of Canada's top goal scorers to be the central defender? Quite frankly, no, we do not. But if Vanessa Gilles is going to add goals for a team that desperately needs them, we are very, very happy to see it. And wow, what a way to do it.
Well, here's the thing, glass half full. I mean, to your point, Adriana Leon was everywhere there. Would you have liked to have seen her score? Of course. Jordan Huitema, of course. You know, Deanne Rose. When you look at your forward, Sinclair, the place would have erupted if she found the back of the net. But the glass half full is, yeah, you have an attacking midfielder in Jessie Fleming who opened the scoring, and you have a center back in Vanessa Gilles who can score. So now you're talking depth, right? But of course you want the other ones to show up. They're having a little bit of fun here, obviously, before her presentation, so that has to feel pretty special. They know what kind of teammate she's been. They know the night that it's going to be for her, or has been for her, right? And Bev Priestman doing the right thing, making that substitution just as the second half started.
Very important to see that. I hear that there is a whole Stephanie Lopez section at BC Place happening right now. Is leading that charge. I'm sure it's going to be a very fun time because the two of them really seem to have taken to retirement very well. But it was a very nice moment for Stephanie Lopez. I mean, this team has meant a lot to her, and it was also great to see her sort of passing that baton to Kalyn Sheridan. Kalyn Sheridan made a huge save in that second half, which I think was really great to see. And now we get to start having a conversation about the next era sort of Canadian goalkeeping, and that's always been a real strength for Canada, so it'll be interesting to see how they transition into the Kalyn Sheridan, Sabrina D'Angelo era of this game.
Well, yes, you mentioned Sheridan came up with a big save in that second half, but let's go back to the first half. It's the all-state save of the match, because even though Canada was really dominating in that first 45, this is when Lopez was called upon.
Yeah, and listen, Lopez has always been a very good shot stopper, and I think that even early in her career, in games like this, she maybe would have lost her sort of focus a little bit, and she wouldn't have saved that, but that's just a showing of how much she's matured over the course of her career. And I think that, you know, we look back at Tokyo, she stopped so many shots, and that's what she's very, very good at.
So once again, we're looking at live pictures here, getting set to honor the retirement of Steph Lopez. And oh, there's Georgia Simmerling, and she's got the pink bandana as well. I love it. Let's listen in.
Alberta made 85 appearances on the international stage for her country. Stephanie represented Canada at 3 FIFA Women's World Cups and played a key role in backstopping Canada to an Olympic bronze medal at the Rio 2016 Olympics. She also produced a series of memorable performances to help Canada achieve its historic gold medal at Tokyo 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Canada's Olympic hero, Stephanie Lopez. One more time, please join us in congratulating Stephanie on her incredible achievements and outstanding career for Canada's women's national team.
Special career for Lopez. You heard some of the achievements there. Also worth noting that during the Olympic qualification, she was awarded the Golden Glove. Obviously, they wanted to finish first. It was the Americans who finished first in that tournament. but she's somebody who's racked up quite the extensive resume. So a special career and a special night as we say goodbye and thank you to Stephanie LeBay. The Canadian women will be in action once again. The celebration tour will make its way to Langford, BC, inside Starlight Stadium. Once again, the opponent, Nigeria. They had a lot of injuries here tonight. Hopefully they'll be okay for that game on Monday. And of course, you can catch it right here on OneSoccer. More to discuss as Kalyn Kyle joins us here. Jessie Fleming gets the winner. Vanessa Gilles gets the second. It's a 2-0 victory for Canada over Nigeria.
At Toyota, our lineup of electrified vehicles is always growing. We're evolving the ways we move so that every Canadian has a choice towards a more sustainable future. One that includes the all-new, all-electric Toyota VZ4X. Because every electrified vehicle we build at Toyota brings us all closer to a better future.
When I started my business, it was just a side gig until it really took off. But I didn't know how to invest in it and still have money left to live. That's exactly what I asked my CIBC advisor.
So tonight we are in charge.
She saw where I wanted to go and built a plan to manage my money. Now I can focus on building my label.
Some advice can take you from thinking about it to doing it. Talk to us today. CIBC, ambitions made real.
For life's transitions, working from home, and even small businesses, life gets better when you have space. With no long-term contracts or leases, get the size you need. Sentinel Storage, proud partner of Canada Soccer and the women's national team. Congratulations.
Full-time stats brought to you by Toyota. It's a 2-0 victory for the Canadians. Jessie Fleming, Vanessa Gilles getting the best of the Nigerians and then really started to pick it up in that second half as well. Some great shots on target, though, by Nigeria. We saw Steph LeBay had to make a good save. We saw Kalyn Sheridan was called upon a few times in that second half as well. But really the Canadians dominating in this one. So they have to be feeling pretty good as they head into Monday's game. As we welcome you back inside our OneSoccer studio. Andy, Laura still with you. Kalyn Kyle now joining us, having a chance to call that one. Special moment. We talked a lot about Christine Sinclair, and then after the game, obviously, it's a special moment for Steph LeBay. All the teammates now saying goodbye. And I mean, what better way to go out on top with an Olympic gold medal?
Yeah, I mean, and her dad with the best mullet, I think, in Canada. Unbelievable. I mean, you look at Steph LeBay, great performance, fantastic save, and then Kalyn Sheridan coming in and also making a huge save. So one thing we know about Canada, the goalkeeper position is always going to be cemented. It's always going to be prepared, and we're always going to have some of the best players in the world. And just seeing this moment with these players in this photo, that'll last a lifetime. Those are those moments that you're going to be showing your grandkids and their grandkids when you're 98 years old, being like, remember when? And they're going to be like, okay, stop talking.
You're like, I was an athlete, really? Yeah, I can prove it. Here are the photos. Now, speaking of being an athlete, I mean, she was everywhere tonight. That's Adriana Leon, and I know you've been making a case for so long, Kalyn. You're like, get her in the starting 11. But what's even more impressive, you know, we know that it was after the She Believes Cup a year ago that she had surgery on her foot. played through it, was at the Olympics, but was still dealing with a lot of pain, and then in November had to go in for surgery again. Has just recently returned. You would never know it.
No, the amount of people that are killing me on social media at the moment, and I don't know why. This isn't a shock to anyone. Even when I played, I said the exact same thing. She just adds a different dynamic that I think Canada's missing. The big question mark, who's going to score the goals when we don't have Christine Sinclair on the pitch? Everyone was saying Jordan Huitema, Janine Becky. Janine Becky, for me, is a fullback. She has to play in a wide position, deeper down, in order to be successful. And that's not me being disrespectful to her. It's just she's better suited with the personnel they have on this team. Adriana Leon, she adds this fire, and it's not that super sub that comes off the bench. It's the tactical awareness which she has gotten overseas. She didn't have that before in her locker. She was very much an individual player, tried to take 2-3 players on, sometimes got caught. That's not her game anymore. It is completely evolved over in Europe, and you can see this. And coming off a foot injury, I don't know how she's done it. She looks faster, she looks fitter, she looks stronger. I need her number to her trainer in Europe because, again, she, for me, a completely dynamic, different player.
Yeah, she was what plays for West Ham, and I know that was somebody we were marveling at in that second half in particular.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was her best performance under Bev Priestman, and I hope that's because she's feeling better, she's feeling healthier. You know, you don't know what a player's going through over the course of a tournament, for example, and if she had to have go back in for surgery in November, then maybe she was feeling it in Tokyo, right? That's quite possible, and when you're feeling it, you're not playing your best. But you looked at her tonight and you thought, there's Adriana Leon trying to lob the goalkeeper when the goalkeeper's off her line. And Canada needs to do that. Like, absolutely. And Canada needs to do that. And we saw, as you mentioned, Janine Becky, she was really playing feeder tonight. You know, she fed Christina Sinclair a couple times. She fed Adriana Leon. And if you take the pressure off Janine Becky of having to score and you have her, you know, play people in, then I think you can get a little bit more out of all of these players.
Yeah, some nice passes by Becky tonight. But Adriana Leon, who we've been talking about, joined our Katie Hamilton.
Adriana Leon, absolutely unbelievable game today. Tell me about this atmosphere and how the game felt.
Yeah, it's been great to be back at home. It's been a while since we've been in BC, but we were super excited to be here and wanted to put out a dominant performance, which I thought we did.
You definitely did. We have so many young soccer girls out here today. They're so excited to watch you. What advice do you give to them?
Just keep on, keep going, keep believing, work hard, and you know, anything is possible.
Thanks, Adriana.
Thank you.
A lot of fans in the stands taking this one in, and as Adriana Leon continues to blossom with West Ham, somebody who has knocked on the door and has gotten into that lineup with Chelsea has been Jessie Fleming, who opens up the scoring here. Canada Soccer Player of the Year as well. Still has this baby face, but don't be fooled by her because she is clinical out on the pitch.
I feel like she's still a 17-year-old that we need to wrap in bubble wrap and we can never criticize, but there's literally nothing to criticize about her game. But it's that midfield trio, whether it is Quinn, Scott, or even when Julia Grosso came into the match. It's the different personnel, and she completely changes her game depending on who is on the pitch at that certain moment in time. Deep balls from deep lying positionings, just that hold-up play you can see here. 3 defenders around her, doesn't drive in too quick, just pulls off the back shoulder of that defense, and then that quick release. She is electric, she's going to be scary, and this is going to be a player that Canada looks for years and years to come. She is going to be that Christine Sinclair that is never going to be able to retire.
Jessie Fleming also with our Katie Hamilton.
Jessie, unbelievable goal. The crowd erupted when you scored. Walk me through that goal today.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just good build-up play by the team. DM got it wide and kind of put it on a plate for me. So just happy to get the first goal and kind of keep the positive momentum for the team.
I mean, you can hear them cheering for you behind you. What's it like playing in this atmosphere?
Yeah, I mean, it's really special for us. I think Vancouver feels like home for a lot of us, and the atmosphere's always been good here, so I think we're just happy to have the opportunity to play in front of our fans.
And now you're on your way back to Vancouver Island to play. It's a little bit different of a stadium. Everyone's so excited. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think we're excited for that as well. I mean, I've never played in Victoria, so I think the team's just excited to go somewhere different, but still be in Canada and still be at home and, yeah, just get to play another game together.
Wonderful. Thank you, Jessie.
Thank you.
Something Bev Priestman said heading into the Olympics was be brave. Now we're hearing be ruthless, especially when it comes to scoring goals. Did you see that in front of the net tonight? Were you satisfied with the attack?
I was in the second 45 minutes because it was the ruthlessness of the attacks and the wave of those attacks, whether it was from wide areas, deep areas, cutting the ball back into the top of the 18. Becky specifically on that right-hand side, service from deeper areas. And then the ability to go route one as well. I think in the first 45 minutes, and it was just, again, with the personnel, a lot of the time playing through the midfield, that is where their main focal point was in that match of you have that almost triangle with Sinclair popping off as that false number 9. So I think, again, it comes down to different personnel. When you have a player like Leon, a player like Haidama, a player like Julia Grosso that can change a game in a moment because of their skill level on the ball, that confidence of taking 2-3 players on, I think it just adds that different dynamic that we saw that Bev is looking for.
Yeah.
Bev is looking for that. She is saying those words, be not only brave, but be ruthless in that attacking third, and that is what we saw.
Yeah, I mean, except for that one, I don't even know. It was like this comedy of errors where we thought it went in, everyone got a crack at it. How did that not go in? The best, though, was Leon popped her head up like a meerkat because she went, what, did it go in? Did it not? Like, at this point, she had no clue what was going on.
She also had a Tajon Buchanan moment as well with the side half volley. So things that we love to see, not only with our men's team, but our women's team that is starting to articulate on the pitch.
That was the only moment where I went, okay, that was interesting, but they do end up scoring 2 here. And, you know, so Janine Becky, and it's really true, when you say when she doesn't have that pressure of scoring, there is something special that you see in her. That's not to say she can't handle pressure, but when you put her in another role, her delivery was on point tonight.
Yeah, her delivery was phenomenal tonight. And you know what? I have to say that I think that we're going to see more of that from Janine Becky now that she's in Portland. I think we're going to see a more confident Janine Becky. She's grown a lot under Man City. I think that, as you said with Adriana Leon, she's become a different player going to England and having that experience in the WSL, but she didn't play consistently enough. As much as she would have liked to sort of help her national team. So I think that when she goes to Portland, we'll see it more. But look at her. She's putting pinpoint balls in. And when you're putting 5 or 6 pinpoint balls into the box, 2 strikers like Adriana Leon, like Christine Sinclair. I mean, I think Christine Sinclair was looking back at that game thinking she could have scored 4 times probably. And I think that that's fantastic because there have been games with this Canadian women's national team where you look back and you sort of scratch your head and think, when could they have scored? Tonight was not that problem. They were incisive. They probably could have had more, but I certainly think that Janine Becky was really on it tonight, and if she can be more of a feeder, then it's going to allow other players to sort of excel in terms of the goal scoring.
Well, we're watching now the players obviously soaking up the atmosphere here, signing. I see a lot of number 12, so Christine Sinclair trying to indulge all of the fans there, get to as many as she can to sign some autographs. But we look into the future just a little bit here, and obviously that goalkeeper position is the one where we definitely know the future is now. Kalyn Sheridan, I know in the pregame show you said that it's actually her position to lose. She's the one here. We didn't see Sabrina D'Angelo, but you know, what do you make of what she can do for this team heading into a World Cup and Olympic qualifying year?
I think one thing for her with not getting a lot of minutes yet with the women's national team, the full team, is moments like this. This is not easy to do, to come into a match, being in Vancouver, and to have the power to push this one out of danger's way. That is a world-class strike outside that 18-yard box. But then also her vocal communication, I think, is what sets her apart. Her confidence in the NWSL, I can't express this enough. Calling these matches and seeing someone like her guide the back line like you see veterans do with not a lot of national team experience at the highest level in World Cups, in Olympic Games, that's only going to grow. And that's why I touched on the point. It's her position to lose at this point, because I think the world is her oyster. I think she could be one of the world's best goalkeepers. You heard NWSL coaches talking about her, and that's why she went over in a transfer with a transfer fee to go to her new team to be the face of this new NWSL expansion team.
That being said, I do think that it's important to have Sabrina D'Angelo in that role, because one of the things that we've talked about is the depth that they have at that position, and there needs to be competition. I mean, Stephanie LeBay, Erin McLeod was pushing Karina LeBlanc, and Stephanie LeBay was pushing Erin McLeod, and then Kalyn Sheridan was pushing Stephanie LeBay. They need Sabrina D'Angelo and some of these younger players in the U20 squad to be pushing Kalyn Sheridan just to make sure that she earns that position, which I believe that she will, because I think you're right. She has the ability to be one of the top goalkeepers in the world. But Canada has always benefited from that sort of goalkeeper union and making sure that the number one earns their place on the field. And I think that that is going to be important. Sabrina D'Angelo is healthy now, and I think that's going to be big for the women's national team, even if you don't see her in the net.
When it comes to soccer, both the Canadian women and men, the big topic we always have is getting that playing time and where's the best place, for them to go. And, that's why when you bring up things with Kalyn Sheridan, she's getting that time in the NWSL. Obviously, she had the quad injury at the She Believes Cup, had to bounce back from that, and now we're seeing her in top form again. But somebody who's had quite the bumpy ride has been Jordyn Huitema. She wasn't released by PSG to play in that She Believes Cup. She wasn't happy. There seemed to have been a setback. She wasn't named to the original Olympic squad, expanded because of COVID. She goes there. A light seemed to have switched a little bit, because then she ends up having, she's playing in Champions League for them and is scoring hat tricks and is scoring a lot of goals. And this is a player you want to see get that kind of playing time as well, right? So Jordyn Huitema, we've seen Jessie Fleming, as we talked about, cracking that lineup with Chelsea. I mean, Ashley Lawrence, we already know. Kadisha Buchanan is a legend already out in Europe. I can go down that type of list. What would be ideal for you to see Jordyn Huitema getting minutes to then also be effective with the national team?
Look, I always go back on this point. The only reason why Jordyn Huitema is not starting with the women's national team is because Christine Sinclair has not yet retired. And unfortunately, Jordyn Huitema's best position is that target number 9. Is she good in wide areas? Yes, but that's not her best preferred position. She's good with her back towards the net. She's got the pace to get behind. She's good in those area battles. Now she's at one of the biggest clubs in the world at PSG. She's in Champions League 2 weeks' time, playing Lyon in the semifinal. You can't buy Champions League. That experience is what I mean in Champions League. You're literally playing against the best teams in the world, the Barcelonas, the Real Madrids, the Chelseas. It took time for a player like Jessie Fleming to get into the starting 11 in Chelsea. It's going to take time for Jordyn Huitema. The best strikers in the world play at PSG. She's going to get better there, but I do like your point that if you're not playing for the national team, you've got to be playing for your club. But her time is coming. It's just, I think she thought it might have been coming a little bit sooner. But when, again, you have a player like Christine Sinclair that has not yet retired for the national team, it's very tough to pull someone like a Sinclair out of your starting 11.
Yeah, she's in a tough position, that's for sure. But to your point, I want to see her playing more, at least with her pro club. All right, the woman who retired after tonight's game and was given a standing ovation and was honored, Stephanie LeBay.
Stephanie, first time being back in BC since 2017. Tell me, what is it like playing here?
Yeah, it was absolutely electric. I mean, these fans always show up for us. They're always chanting the entire game and giving us something to really play for. They instill that passion in us, and it's always an honor to play in front of this crowd.
It's been amazing to watch you, and today when you came off the field, it was emotional. The crowd just loves you as well. Talk to me, how did that feel?
I mean, it was so incredibly special. I know that, having this opportunity to have a send-off like this it's pretty rare, and I feel very honored to be able to have the opportunity to have one last chance to put on this jersey and to do it in an environment like this was absolutely incredible, and it feels so special to have this amazing crowd here, the Canadians and the communities that have supported me along with my friends and family. It's a moment I'll never forget.
We do have one more game back in Victoria on Vancouver Island on Monday. How do you feel about that game coming up?
Yeah, I mean, it's exciting. I'm excited to see this team get back out there and to play against Nigeria once again and see if we can make a few changes, score a few more goals, and I'm excited to go there and celebrate with Victoria.
Thanks, Stephanie.
Thank you.
I do wonder what the Nigerian squad's going to look like on Monday.
Depleted.
They were already depleted coming here, and then the injuries there. Are you a little bit concerned of what that line? Because here's the thing, and the reason why I say that, and it's not all in jest, we want this team to be competitive for Canada.
And that's the frustrating part. We touched on it a few times in the pre-show that these are some of the best teams that you can play against going into an Olympic, or excuse me, a World Cup qualification just around the corner, because they are so difficult to play because they're fast, they're athletic, they get get stuck into tackles, and now Randy Waldrum has defensively made them a very sound team. I think a lot of them were maybe a little bit of fatigue, especially playing on turf. You get a little bit heavier legs, change of directions a little bit harder because you have to get stuck into the ground a little bit more. So I'm hoping a lot of them was just the fatigue setting in, and they get that quick turnaround. It's not a far flight, obviously, to get to Victoria, and we see that best 11 for Nigeria out on the pitch.
Yeah, I know that. I mean, we're 3 of 4 games into this celebration tour. I think that Bev Priestman needs to sort of turn the page a little bit on the celebration tour. Tonight was the big night. We celebrated Christine Sinclair, celebrated Stephanie LeBay, the Hall of Fame. Now we have to start looking forward. It has to start being about World Cup qualification and Olympic qualification. That's like months away now, and that really needs to be the focus. And you don't get a lot of time in camp with these players, so you absolutely need to be using those minutes. And I think Bev Priestman has done that, but she's also sort of used the celebration tour to really acknowledge the people that she feels deserve acknowledging. But now it's pushing forward. Now it's who's next.
And we'll see with that lineup on Monday, that's for sure. But again, the night belonged to, women who were in the spotlight here being celebrated. And that, of course, includes Christine Sinclair.
Christine, welcome back. How does it feel playing in your hometown?
No, this is incredible. We don't get to play here often, but every time we do, I mean, it's emotional. All my friends and family are here. It's pretty incredible.
Now, you do have another game going into Victoria, BC. How do you feel about that one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously right now it's a fine balance of trying to celebrate, everything we've accomplished, but also trying to get ready for qualifiers. So we're enjoying it. We're enjoying playing in front of our fans. But obviously there's work to be done. We could have won like 9-0 tonight. So yeah, we're never satisfied.
You played amazing tonight. The crowd, you can hear them even signing jerseys. They're so excited for you. What advice would you give to all the young fans here supporting you today?
Honestly, just like dream big. At one point, I was one of those kids screaming in the '99 World Cup, watching my heroes play, and it changed my life. So hopefully, we're inspiring some youngsters around Canada.
Thanks, Christine.
Awesome. Thank you.
Laura, maybe your suspicions were true when she was subbed off. And you were speculating, was she saying that she could have scored some 4 goals in that game? I mean, she did have her opportunity. She was shocked that she didn't find the back of the net.
Christine Sinclair wants Canada to be great. And on a night like tonight, 2-0 is nice, but 9-0 would have been better. And I think we all agree on that, which is phenomenal. It's the reason why Christine Sinclair is great, because she's always pushing.
But it's also the confidence as well that this gold medal has brought, because you would have never heard Christine Sinclair say that 3 or 4 years ago. But this is just what is going on with Canada. I mean, she talked about the '99 World Cup. It was, for me, the U19 World Championship in Edmonton. They changed my life forever. So she's continuing to inspire both on and off the pitch, and yeah, I can't wait for this World Cup once we qualify.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a very busy year, but they're going to have to get through Nigeria once again in another friendly celebration tour. That's on Monday right here on OneSoccer. That's Laura Armstrong. That's Kalyn Kyle. I'm Annie Petrillo. We'll see you Monday.
A new era for Canadian soccer begins today. Experience the emotion of every match. Watch all the highlights, the breaking news, the best debates and analysis, and all the information about the Canadian stars playing abroad. Get access to the best of Canadian soccer from any device.